You've been through all the steps so far, and you may be anxious to start installing stuff on your kayak. But don't do that. That's a mistake. One more step before you do that. Stay tuned. Well, you've been with me so far. You've bought your used kayak. You created your transport mechanism. You got your seats all sorted out. You selected your paddle. And now you may be anxious to start installing rod holders and other things that's going to make your life on the water nice and easy. Well, don't do that until you do this last step before we start that customization. And that step is the sea trial. In the first episode where I bought this kayak, I mentioned that I was unable to go do a test paddle with it before I bought it. I bought it on Craigslist and it just wasn't possible. But even if you've done a test paddle, that test paddle probably wasn't long enough to really sort out how you want to operate on this kayak. So you've got to go out and do a sea trial. Take one rod, load up your seat, your paddle, and a couple baits or lures, and then go out and fish on that kayak for an entire day. During that day, you'll be able to note where things are, what you can reach, and where you're going to want to install utility tracks, rod holders, and all the other kind of stuff. And that's what I'm going to do today. So join me and I'll show you what I discovered in terms of this kayak. The first thing I wanted to show you is this is why when you buy a tandem kayak, you need to get one with a single seat option. All good here in single seat mode. But as soon as I go and sit in the rear, where there is no single seat option, you can see that the bow is cocked up and the boat is a little bit unstable. Next, I wanted to go assess stability even further. Could I spin around, throw my legs overboard, and fish in different angles? All good there, no issues. Finally, I wanted to see if I could put a raised seat in, and so I rocked back and forth to assess the stability and concluded that a raised seat would cause me to dunk at some point. No raised seat on this boat. Well, I've been paddling for a while, so the first thing, given that this is a paddle kayak, is I notice that my paddle stroke starts about right up to here and goes back to here. So clearly I don't want to have anything in this area right here. The other thing that I can figure out here, at least as a single kayak, is that clearly I'd like to have a utility track on either side in this flat area here, and that's where my rod holders will end up going. I can be able to reach over there easily and grab them, but clearly not back into here where the seat straps would interfere. I've noticed up there in the front as I paddle, water comes in through the front scupper holes. I don't like that. I'd like to have that area be dry, so I will plug those scupper holes with a hack in a future video. Likewise, I've got two scupper holes right here where water comes up. It's only about an inch down here below based on my weight. And this is where I'd like to keep my box with my fishing rigs and things like that. So I think I'll plug these up as well. That's going to fit in there nicely. Then in terms of the anchor, I don't have the trolley installed yet, but I wanted to be able to see where I think it would go, and I think I'll put it on both sides. I'll put a kit on one side to show you that, and then I'll put a hack on the other side. In terms of built-in rod holders, I don't really see any good spot that would be within reach and close enough. This is a flat area right here, but I just don't think that that's going to be wide enough, and it's probably going to interfere with this seat right here. So I think I will pass on built-in rod holders, but that remains to be seen. Well, it looks like I'm able to check out catching redfish on my new kayak. Let me get this guy into the boat. Well, as you can see, I'm able to pivot all the way around here. No problems with stability in fighting this big redfish. Well, pivoting around, he's run on the other side of the kayak, and stability's okay. So this also gives me an idea of where I'd like to put the rod holders. Yep, definitely you can see that the seat has slipped up. So I need something to lock that down so it doesn't move. Well, there we are. I've broke it in this kayak. It's got its first fish. Well, let me get this guy back in the water. Don't need to keep him. The other thing I think I need after fishing in this for a little bit is a level platform between the single seat and the tandem seat. There really isn't a good spot here to put stuff and be able to get at it. So as I figure out the attachment points I'm going to install, I'm going to install some kind of a level platform here, and we'll figure out what that is in a later video. There you go. You see, I learned a lot just by going out here before I started putting any kind of holes in my boat. You need to do the same thing. Now we'll get into the fun stuff. I'm not sure what I'm going to do next, but just stay tuned and find out.